I have John from Australia. Hi Tyler, are organic wines and beers healthier for you? Or is all alcohol bad? I see these products in health stores at Maggie's and they're usually priced at a premium. So, yes, you have the overall question, is alcohol poison? Is it okay? When is it okay? When is it not okay? I have my father's philosophy, I have my own philosophy, and I'll share a little bit of both of those types of things. My father has a philosophy that distilling alcohol, and I would tend to agree with this, when you distill an alcohol, like vodka and things like this, it was used anciently literally to clean the skin and to clean wounds and do different types of things, and it's very hot. Anytime that you would go to put something in your mouth or down your throat, whether it's smoking a cigarette or drinking something, and you have a reaction that's like, oh my God, and then you try to overcome that reaction, it's probably not a good thing. So I wouldn't recommend actually drinking straight alcohol. I would say it's quite toxic, it's really hot, it's probably tough on the liver. It's probably not something you'd want to do regularly. Maybe if it's an occasional thing, your body can handle it. So yeah, look, there's going to be people out there who say all alcohol is poison, it's bad, don't do it. And then there's lots of research and people saying that, hey, a little bit of alcohol, whether it be a glass of wine or a beer or something of that nature, a fermented type of drink, can actually be quite healthy. It can help thin the blood, it can help do all kinds of things. Wines have been talked about as being an anti-aging food because of grapes, and grapes are really good for the red blood cells. Wine's really good for the red blood cells. If you look at beer, there's lots of B vitamins. There's fermented bacterial cultures in there that can actually improve digestion to a degree. So, it's a good question. I would take the belief that, fermented drinks, especially like wine and beer, if they're grown, hopefully organically would be best, but even more important than organic is not adding chemical preservatives. You got to understand that even organic wines, they grow the stuff organically, then they put it into a bottle and they add a preservative so that it will last a long time. And sodium sulfites and things like this are known, carcinogens that can damage the liver and do all kinds of things to the body, which are not good. So it is really tough to find an actual wine that is organic or even preservative-free. Organic's easier, but actually preservative-free is tough to find. There's a few companies out there that are claiming that you can add a little powder, like SO2Go. Sodium sulfite gets rid of it. Supposedly you dump it into a bottle of wine and it makes all those chemical preservatives just an organic compound. It's chemistry. I don't know how true that is, but a lot of people use it. There's been a lot of research into it. So I would recommend, if you're going to drink wine anyway, maybe research one of those companies, get those little packets, pour a little tiny packet into a bottle of wine, and you may be a lot safer. When it comes to beer, look for a beer that has on the label no preservatives. German beers, for example, they have a law that they can only use like 3 or 4 ingredients, which is like yeast, hops, malt, and whatever it is, and water. So I would recommend, if you're going to have a beer, maybe get like a German beer or one that is absolutely preservative free. If you've ever seen me and my dad have a beer before, you'll notice that we put a lot of lemons in it. I think beer tastes fantastic if you add literally like a half or even a whole lemon into a nice sized beer. Personally, at one point in my life, I probably drank 2 or 3 beers every single night to relax and do all that. And I just found it wasn't the best thing for me as far as weight, retaining water, the way I felt, and just seemed like I relied on it. So I gave that up years ago. Now when it comes to maybe getting together with family or friends on an occasion, one weekend a month, I might have 1 or 2 or even 3 beers that are preservative free, preferably organic with some lemons, and I find a buzz is quite nice. And look, for thousands of years there have been cultures of individuals and civilizations that have, based themselves around getting together and, socializing and having fermented drinks like wines and beers and different types of things that I believe are beautiful. I believe it creates a social connection. It can be a fun thing. I think that fermented drinks can be beneficial for your body. The level of antioxidants in wine and the level of, fermented bacterias in beers can be good. But you can overdo it. So the idea is to essentially just take it in moderation. And I know the definition of moderation can be different for everybody, but I would say, be okay with having a beer or a wine on occasion. If it becomes a daily thing, you should really look at your life and maybe ask yourself the question, am I suppressing something? Why am I doing this? Does it really need to be a daily type of thing? And maybe you'll find some things show up, and you can get through that. So when it comes to beer and wine, I think that preservative-free and organic are fantastic to have on occasion. When it comes to hard alcohol, I would recommend to avoid it completely by itself. You could ask yourself the question about, well, what if I put, a little bit of vodka into some fresh squeezed orange juice? I know that sometimes you might be out at a bar or a club and maybe you don't feel like having beer because you get bloated from it or you just don't like the taste. I think if you can find some fresh squeezed orange juice or fresh squeezed juices or even cranberry juice or things like that, add some lemon to it, maybe soda water and lime and lemon, and really radically reduce the amount of alcohol. So if you took a shot of vodka and that was 1 to 6 ratio, you're probably going to be a lot better off. And I'd rather have you, doing that than just taking straight shots. So I hope this information helps. I believe it's still okay to have a good time, go out, party, have a healthy lifestyle, go for long walks, deep breathing exercises, eat whole foods, get yourself out in the sun, and don't be too caught up in not having an occasional drink. Have a good day.